Good evening, ladies. We are so happy to have you all on tonight.
Hi, Erica.
You guys asked, and so we're going to make it work where we do this weekly. Your feedback is extremely important to us, so please leave comments. Let us know how we can make this better for your experience and for our experience. Like we've stated several times over, we don't know it all, but if we can share in our own experiences and help other women throughout this process, it would be great. This is an enlightening place of positivity for us and for you all. We want you all to know how important it is that we, me and Jazz both, spread positivity. And this, we thought last week was a great boost to our week. And we were hoping that it was a great boost to anyone else's week who did view it. So we are excited about this. We are excited about tonight's topic. And it is the power of the word no in setting boundaries for yourself. We have 3 points that we want to make with this topic, and that specifically is 1, expectations, 2, guilt, and then 3, enabling. So we're going to dive into that. Like we've said before on our previous lives, comment your feedback. We're going to go through and we're going to hit on you guys' points as well. We're going to have not necessarily Q&A session, but like a commentary session at the end. If you want to jump on live with us and hold conversation talk, we are more than happy to bring you on with us. But we're happy to hold this conversation. I think it's a very important topic, especially being that, a lot of us, like we've stated so many times before, being women, we always feel like super women. We always feel like if somebody calls us, we have to say, yes, I can do this, knowing that we're dead dog tired. And we already are feeling overwhelmed, and life is like kind of beating on us, but we put on our best faces and we go out there and we support whoever it is we need to support. But sometimes we get called on more than others. And people do recognize our gifts. People do recognize our helping spirits. They recognize our talents. They recognize our skill sets. They know what we are great at. And sometimes we give away those talents so freely and so easily that people begin to take advantage of us.
Right.
And that's what we want to hone in on tonight is, knowing when to say no, knowing how to say no, and knowing that when you say no, you should be okay with saying no and not letting anyone make you feel guilty about you saying no. You want to dive in on that?
Like she said, sometimes we have a big kind heart, so we want to go out there and we try to help everybody that we can, and sometimes that's fine, but sometimes when we say yes to others, we're saying no to ourselves. So sometimes we have to be selfish, because sometimes people will they won't consider like the things that you have going on. Not saying that they're they don't know or anything, but sometimes sometimes they just don't know that they're being an inconvenience. So you have to be able to voice that, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. And you don't have to be rude about it or anything, but sometimes you just have to let them know that I need this time for myself. And I'm sorry. Y'all, I always do this at the beginning of I hate talking in front of people, so I'm always very nervous. So y'all gotta forgive me. But I will be all right in a couple of minutes. But yeah, sometimes we'll say yes to other people, and we'll put our ourselves on the back burner. Like sometimes we'll be dead tired from work, with the kids running around, and then somebody will come and ask us to do something, and instead of saying no, like we should have in the first place, we'll go ahead and do it. And then when we're there, we're all mad. Everybody asking us what's wrong with us, but they don't know, like, if you would have just said no, then everything would have been okay. So you have to just put yourself aside and just be like, okay, what's best for me at this moment? Just take yourself into consideration. And just like some of those people, if they do get mad, they're being selfish. So what's wrong with you being selfish the same way that they are and saying, no, I can't do it? So.
Right. And moving into expectations, all this week I've been wanting to make a post about expectations. I don't know why, but it's been heavy on my mind and on my spirit, only because we expect a lot out of people, and we feel like people may expect a lot out of us, but we don't get what we're expecting out of them in return. And it was so much that I wanted to say, but I couldn't really put it in a post. So I felt like it fit this topic, because we have to understand that we can hold expectations for ourselves, but we have to understand that those expectations that we have for ourselves, others may not have for us, or we can't hold those same expectations for others because they won't live up to our expectations.
Right.
So we will only be doing ourselves a disservice, and when we put expectations on others that we know they can't fulfill, we're hanging out there, we're leaving hope out there for them to, when we are in need, like say they call on you for stuff and you're always like that. You come to their rescue every single time. But then when you need something, they're nowhere to be found.
Right.
They have so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to tell you no, but yet you don't know how to tell them no.
Right.
So that's where we have to, first of all, take a step back and take a look in the mirror and kind of talk to ourselves and say, hey, don't think talking to yourself is wrong. I do it every day, all day. I don't care what anybody say. You should talk yourself out of situations.
Right.
But talk to yourself and say, hey, who are the people in my life that are really helping me and guiding me? And when I am in need of, a shoulder to lean on the most, or I need help, they are there for me. Who are those people? And when you can identify those people, and those are the people that when you call, they're going to be there for you. Those are the people that I wholeheartedly say, yes, help them. If you're able to call on them and they're able to call on you, help them. But those people who are all constantly calling on you for whatever services they need, whatever money they want to borrow, whatever, even when it comes to holding the phone to your ear and speaking about all types of negative things, those type of people, you have to take a step back and say, hey, not today. I'm sorry. I have a calendar full. Right. My day is super busy. I've already been dealing with a lot today. My headspace and my energy just will not allow me to do it today. Maybe another time.
And speaking of stuff like that, sometimes you have those people you're always there to give a listening ear to, but as soon as you try to put a word in or talk about, they switch it back to them. Like, who are, like, that's being selfish of them. Like, sometimes, like, you need to say, okay, like, I can't talk today. Like, I already have no problems. Like, I don't need more of your problems and drama. Especially when you keep on trying to give them solutions to it, and they don't want to take it. Like, okay, what do we need to do? Because I keep on trying to give you solutions to it, and all you keep on giving me is more of your problems. Like, what are you gonna do about it? You have to flip that question back to them. Like, what are you gonna do? Because I have enough problems of my own, like I said. So we can't always just be the like give that listening ear and them just dumping all of that on you all the time, because it's stressful.
And not only that, you have your own stresses in life. Of course, we're not advising anybody. We're not telling anybody to not help others when they're in need. We're not telling you not to, give great advice, because I 100% say give advice, and it's up to others to take it. However, if their advice is, if their conversations are constantly negative, or if their conversations are constantly, it feels like a weight on you every time you talk to that person, that's when you have to kind of take a step back and say, hey, do I want that energy in my day to day, or do I want to, have more of a positive light going on my day? Because sometimes people don't understand that their conversations can bring you down. Right. And I believe wholeheartedly in, having an uplifted spirit, making sure that, you're not allowing others' problems and others' issues to dwell on your day. Yes, their day may be down, and they may be having, issues or whatever going on. It's your chance to uplift. If you see they're not trying to get up out of that fog and get up out of those gray areas that they're dealing with, hey, how you doing? I'm sorry. It looks like we're not really getting to a resolution here. You're talking more of, what you can't do, as opposed to seeing what you can do. So I'm just going to have to end this conversation right here. And maybe tomorrow, you'll have a better outlook on everything. But today it seems like you just want to live in the funk. So we're just going to end it right there.
Right. And I have this saying. It says that everybody that wants you in their life necessarily isn't somebody that you need in yours. And dealing with the word, it works both ways, because sometimes I'm spoiled, so sometimes Sometimes I don't like for people to tell me no, but then I have to take a step back and be like, okay, maybe these people got something else that they got going on. Like, take for instance my mother. Like, sometimes I want to go somewhere, I want to do something, I be like, okay, can you watch the kids for me? And she's like, especially for the last, if you watching this moment, yes, I'm talking about you. But for the last past 4 weeks, like, I don't know, she's been having she had been having a class reunion that she's been trying to set up for, and like, I'm always asking her like, can you just watch the kids? I need a break. She's like, no, I got this that I need to do and this that I need to do, and it's like, no, nobody loves me. I don't have anybody. But then I had to take myself out and be like, okay, she got a lot going on, and at the end of the day, these are my kids, so I have to take into consideration, like, she don't have to do that, she does a lot for them anyway, so you got to be able to take a no too, so without getting offended.
That is definitely true,
right?
Because just because people do stuff for us all the time, we can't look for them to do something for us every time, right? It's also with identifying our own flaws in this situation, in these instances too, right? Is just like Jazz, I can understand that, but I know that the people who I count on the most, they have things going on too that they want to do, and I'm never one to try to push or get mad if somebody doesn't do anything for me, because I'm grateful for anything that anybody does, because they don't have to do it, to be honest. They're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. So like Jazz said, if I ask somebody to watch my son, they say no, I can't get mad at that, that's my child, but at the end of the day, you have people who might get mad because someone won't do what they're trying to push on them. But that's unfair to other people, because as a person who cares for others, and if you really love those people who you're close with, you wouldn't put them in those situations. You wouldn't say those type of things that might come out in those instances when you're angry or catch an attitude about something, because at the end of the day, it's not their responsibility, it's our own responsibility. So definitely with expectations, we have to get out of the nature of having expectations of our family, expectations of our friends, expectations of our significant others. It's hard. Like, yes, Monique, it's very hard. Rejection can be hard for some people, but that's all about yourself, understanding yourself, and understanding how important it is to care for other people, and to not only care for them, care about their well-being too. Right. They have a life just like we have a life. Right. If I call on my mother and I say, hey, can you watch Christian? That's my son's name, Christian. And she says, no, I'm going out tonight with your dad. I might be hurt. Real hurt. Real hurt. Not gonna lie on here. But I'm like, all right, well.
You a grandma. You supposed to be sitting out. What you going out for? But no, they had a baby boy. Grandma got
that life too. Right. So, you have to take a step back and not try to push your life on others' lives, but be fair with that. Hi, Sharina.
Hey, Sharina. And even sometimes, even when it comes to money and stuff, good and well, you ain't got no money to afford to do something, but they'll get mad. They'll be like, oh, you can't do this and yada yada yada. And then you'll be like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and do it. And then you put yourself in a bind. While they go home and they stuff straight, you sitting there struggling. How you gonna make your ends meet? How you gonna pay your bills? Because you done put yourself in a financial bind. So, like I said, you just got to keep that in mind.
I don't like to tell people what to do. But I'm going to tell you this. You work hard for your money. Don't let anybody tell you how to spend your money. My cousins love to go out a lot. They do.
Hey, Tisha.
I tell them 110%. If I can't go, you can't make me go. Because if I know in my budget it's not in there for me to go anywhere, right, I'm not gonna do it, and I'm not gonna feel bad about not going. I might be sad because I'm seeing all their pictures being posted, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. But at the end of the day, my bills still have to get paid. I have a child to take care of, so my priorities come before anything else or anybody else's feelings about if I didn't show up to something or if I didn't come to something. Because at the end of the day, if I can't do it, I just can't do it.
Now, if you want to contribute to my bills, I'll be happy to go. I'm ready. What we doing? Let's go.
Definitely not the case. No, that's not the case. And even then, I still feel like I don't want to put that on somebody else to do something for me, because I don't want to feel like I'm being a burden to anybody else. So my biggest thing is, don't expect people, don't expect others to do as much as you do, but definitely take the time out to for yourself to say, no, I just can't do this. It will be too much on me, because it would be selfish for you to put yourself out there knowing that you don't really have it in your heart of hearts to be able to do it. And not only that, it will be burdening on you, and then you're angry, and it's selfish to them as well, because you can't give it your all, because you're not really into it, because you're tired, or you just can't, you just don't have the means to do it. So moving on to our number 2, which is guilt, which we've touched on it a little bit, but when you say no, you should be able to be okay with saying no. No one should make you feel guilty about saying no. You're your own person. You don't answer to anyone, so if you can't do something, you just can't do something. Anybody who makes you feel guilty about saying no or not being able to do for them, quite honestly, they shouldn't be in your life, if you ask me.
They don't have your best interest.
No, they don't. And they're only thinking about themselves. And selfish people need to only deal with selfish people.
Right.
Because kind-hearted people so many times get taken advantage of, and so many times put out so much effort and put so much into others that we forget about ourselves. So that whole guilty thing with people coming to you and saying, oh, so you can do this for somebody else, but you can do that, you can't do that for me, or you can't be there for, no, I'm sorry. This is my choice and my time. How I choose to spend my time is on me. Now, if I decide to help you out, that's a different story. I'm always going to be there for you. I don't mind. But at this present time, I am unable and incapable of doing it. So I need you to be understanding in that. And if you can't be understanding in that, I don't know what to tell you.
And you have to set boundaries for yourself. Saying no, it takes practice. I know when I was younger, I consider myself, I was a people pleaser.
Yes, you were.
I tried to make everybody happy. Like, I wanted everybody to like me. Now I don't care if you deal with me, then you deal with me. If you don't, I love you still. But I was a people pleaser, and like I said, saying no takes practice. I used to do stuff, and then when you do it, like, you sitting there with all type of animosity and anxiety in your chest because you done said no to yourself, but you done went ahead and did what you said you didn't want to do, and you have grudges against the people and stuff instead of just saying no in the first place. And you also have to have those predisposed boundaries, and especially like when it comes like relationships or something like that, you have to already know, like, okay, this is what I will deal with, this is what I won't deal with. So when people come and they cross those boundaries, no matter who it is, even if the person that you love, that you care for, you won't feel bad about setting those boundaries. And you have to let people walk away. You can't be afraid if people walk away from you. I have the power of goodbye. Like, I specialize in goodbye. I don't mind. For real. I don't mind. So you have to know that within yourself. And it's being self-aware. You have to be self-aware, knowing who you are, what you're able to deal with, what works for you, might not work for somebody else. And you got to know what you need and what's good for you in your life.
Definitely. And like she said, you have to protect yourself, you have to protect your time, and you have to protect your energy. Everybody that comes in your life, let me put it this way. You need to look at your table and look at everybody who has a seat at your table. And if everybody who has a seat at your table isn't aspiring to grow, isn't aspiring to be great in life, isn't aspiring to help you grow and help you be great in life, then they definitely should not be, a part of your life. Right. I'm like Jazz. I will cut people off in a heartbeat, because at the end of the day, it's not about what, others think, but it's about what you think and how you feel. I can't have, different people in my life that are not there for me and can't sit at my table and help me grow and help uplift me, because at the end of the day, when you're growing, And that growth requires a different type of atmosphere. And that atmosphere means that everybody's not supposed to sit at the table with you when you grow and you elevate, because they're not always going to be there. You're going to have conniving people at your table if you let everybody sit there. You're going to have jealous people side-eyeing you at your table. You're going to have envious people at your table. You have to know discernment. I preach that to the fullest, because discernment is how you cut those people out your life. But it's very important, because if people show you guilt, if are making you feel guilty about you saying no,
right? They don't have your best interest at heart. And people will get too comfortable with using you. If you don't stand up for yourself.
Oh, yes.
Like, for real, if you don't voice that to them, because sometimes you think, okay, you got common sense. Like, you shouldn't be certain things you should not expect of me. But, they're going to push you to the limit. They're going to keep on pushing you to see if you're going to be in it, you're going to break. But you have to have the power to stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm not going to take that. You're not going to treat me like that. I can't do that for you. And when you say it, you got to mean it.
Yep, because like she said, users, they find the weakest person that they can find, and they will take advantage of you to the fullest. And people will only do what you allow them to do to you. If you allow people to constantly use you, constantly take advantage of you, constantly call on you for every little thing, because they know that you're the person who they can make a fool out of sometimes, or you the person that's going to jump when they say go, they'll keep doing it. The minute you say no to them, after you've been doing it for so long, this is how you recognize if they're really for you or if they're really against you. The minute that you say no, if they try to make you feel guilty and catch your attitude, they were using you the whole time and they never meant you any good.
Are you right about that? Now you set them up. For real.
You're right, Monique. Sometimes you do have to cut people off to do better for yourself. It's important. Listen, people come into your life for seasons. Everybody's not meant to go with you throughout your lifetime. Because at the end of the day, I do feel like everybody comes in your life for a reason, because there's a lesson in every person that has come into your life, and you have to know how to take a lesson out of each person that have came into your life and how that person has helped you grow.
Right.
Because if you don't understand that, you'll never be able to grow from each person, and you'll have resentment in your heart for those people if they're no longer in your life. But knowing how they have helped you elevate to the next level and the next level and the next level, that don't mean they have to stay in your life that whole time, because they weren't meant to sit at the table when you reach your successful point or where you reach your peak in your life. But they helped you grow to that point. And that's when you have to recognize those things and understand those things. And you still be grateful to God for putting those people in your life for you to understand how you had to grow in your personal to get to where you are, and put that out in the world is also.
Right.
And so enabling, we don't recognize that when we say no, when we're always saying yes, that we are becoming enablers. Sometimes people will call on us because that it's an easy way out for them.
Right.
So they never learn how to grow, or they never learn how to do things on their own, because they know they could call on you, and you're always going to tell them yes, and you're always going to do something for them, whatever it is that they're looking a way out of. We have to learn how to take a step back and say, okay, if I've given you this advice 5 times, you have yet to take it. I heard it in a sermon this morning, and I'm going to tell it to you all. It was called The Aroma of Prayer by T.D. Jakes. If I've given you this advice a few times, and you're still in this situation, or you're still doing this same thing, and you haven't moved past from that same thing, and you're still in it, God got you going through that for a reason. And you haven't learned what you needed to learn to get out of that situation. So I need to take a step back and tell you no, so you can get what you need to get, because I'm getting in the way of whatever it is he's trying to prove his point to you. And that's where we become enablers, because we are constantly giving them, a way out. We're giving them a up in a situation. And we don't need to, sometimes we need to recognize that we're being a hindrance to them by constantly giving them a way out, and just recognize that we need to take a step back and stop enabling them so much.
And you also have to realize you can't fix people. You can give them your best advice. Some people, they don't want to change. Some people, especially with dealing with toxic people. Like, I know this was a topic from last week, but we also want to talk about on here, like, how do you set those boundaries with toxic people in your life? Like, how do you, because some people you can't get rid of. Some, sometimes it's a family member, a friend, or in a relationship. Not saying that you can't get no rid of nobody, because I cut them off real quick. But you know, like sometimes it's people that you can't really like just get rid of. So you have to know, like I said, you have to have those predisposed boundaries, especially when it comes to like toxic people trying to dump their trash on you. You have to know, like, okay, you're bringing this to me, but I can't tolerate that. You know, even when they get mad when you tell them no, like they'll talk to you in a kind of way. No, you can't talk to me like the way you're talking to me. I don't like that. So you have to be able to express those boundaries that you have with people. You know, and like you said, don't enable them, because if you keep on sitting there and just, you know, just being quiet, just taking it, they're going to think that's okay. And they can keep on treating people like that and doing it over and over. And they keep on using people like that. But you keep on not cussing them out, because we don't do that. You can't cuss them out. You can't cuss them out. You can tell them in a polite, you know, direct way, you know, like, I don't like that. You know, you don't have to get loud. You don't have to be rude. Just be direct. And don't try to sugarcoat it for anything, really.
Definitely. And like Jazz said, with being direct, you don't have to listen. A fool can't argue with themselves. A person can only argue with somebody who argue back at them. And the quickest way that you can get up under a person's skin, don't say a word. And that allows them to know. And sometimes it doesn't take you having to say anything. Sometimes it takes you just having to be quiet.
Yep.
And they'll begin to recognize, you know, those instances where they're being toxic, or they're being, you know, their behavior is inappropriate. And you don't even have to say 2 words. You can say, I'm done with this conversation. And once you finish that conversation and they realize they can't get a rise out of you, that's when they'll start to take another look at themselves. And another thing, when you grow, your atmosphere also requires a detox. So when you're growing and you're elevating and you're getting to the next level and the next level, that means each time you feel like you've grown and you've surpassed a personal milestone that you set before yourself, sometimes you need to take a step back and say, okay, assess your lifestyle. Not necessarily all of your life, but also the people in your life, and say, who's really here to help me in my new level of growth? You know, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying not to cuss people out, you know, because the people can push you. I'm trying to, you know. Because
then you're just doing what they're doing.
Right.
And we're trying to create positiveness.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Positivity.
Yeah. Y'all know I'm country. I got a little ratchet. I be making up words and stuff, so y'all gotta excuse me. But yeah, you gotta, you know, you want to grow and you don't want to stay stuck on the same thing. So like you said, you can't just cut people out.
Right. And then you have to look at the people around you who are motivating you to either do positive things or do negative things. Some of your friends or family in your life will, you know, push you up to say, oh no, I wouldn't do that. I would cuss them out and this, that, and another. And those people, they haven't grown. They haven't grown up yet. So that don't mean you have to completely cut them off, but you got to know what to tell them and what not to tell them. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to become a better person for you and for the people around you, so you can be an inspiration for them. And the only way you can do that is to make sure that the individuals that have constant access to your life is constantly pushing you in a more positive direction and in a more positive light, and feeding positive words into your spirit as well. Because we can get those family members and friends who are always going to be on it with getting ready to, you know, turn up. And we don't necessarily, you know, that's not necessarily the direction that you need to go in when dealing with certain situations.
Right.
And then you can't really allow others to grow also if you're constantly saying yes. If you're constantly being the yes person, how are you allowing them to grow also? We also have to take a look at ourselves and say, you know, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be an inspiration in others' lives. But if I'm constantly, you know, doing everything for them, if I'm constantly, you know, enabling them in their bad behaviors or in their not so great behaviors, how am I helping them grow into a better person? Because I'm always the person who they can call on to get them out of that negative situation that they're in, without helping them see how they're playing a factor into that situation also. You have to be able to be, I would say, a beacon of light for them. to show them their negative factors as well, because none of us are perfect.
Right.
We all have our own issues. I know I have mine. But, taking those situations and, looking at where you're wrong at, where that person is wrong at, and then like I think I've mentioned before, when we are talking to people and we don't necessarily listen to understand, but we listen to react.
Right.
Listening to understand is it takes some time to do that, because when you're listening to understand, you're not so quick to respond.
Right.
You're listening to understand that person's ideology, their context, what they're doing, why they're saying these things. And then your reaction shouldn't be a negative reaction, but it should be a reaction of trying to get to a common ground without having to express ourselves negatively or express ourselves like loud or coming off with argumentative, because that's not the most effective way of doing it.
And I think it comes with, being self-aware and, taking control of your emotions. Like, if you're going to be an effective person, you have to have that control of your emotions. You can't let people, rock your boat. Like, you can't let people come in and disturb your peace. Like I said, you have to be so aware of yourself, because when people bring certain things or bring their toxicity against you, like, sometimes you want to react. And we think about, like, our mind at the moment, it's not in that right moment. It's thinking about things that happened in the past, your future, so sometimes we don't react like how we should. But you need to take the time and say, okay, what's going on here? Like, what did that person just say to me? I can't get mad and cuss them. I gotta think logically. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to think logically here. Like, okay, so you have to take that time to think about what's going on. And even sometimes, like like I said, I used to be a people pleaser, so I used to, try to avoid confrontations, so, like, I let people talk to me any kind of way, and then I get back home, and I'm thinking about,
and you had a whole conversation in your head.
That ain't sit right what they said to me, and then I was like, oh, I should have said this, I should have told them that. You have to be in your head. Right, you have to have that self-consciousness, like, in the moment of, like, okay, what that person just said to me right then and there, it was not right. So in order for them to avoid doing that in the future, I need to address that right now. Okay, like, what you just said, that wasn't right. So maybe you could say that a different way, or tell them what you mean when you just said that. Like, have them break that down. So, because, like, sometimes they don't know that they're being toxic or that they're dumping their negative energy off on you. So, like I said, you have to have those boundaries, that you have in place.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. And then we also have to ask the question, what would they do if we weren't here? Who would they call on if we weren't the person that was always picking up the phone? Because when they stop calling you, who else are they going to call to do whatever it is that they're asking you to do, or whatever it is that they're looking for you to be supportive of them on, or whatever it is that they are, looking for you to be a service to or an enabler for? If you weren't there, they'd have to find something else, or they would have to grow up and find another way of dealing with the situation. So we can't always expect people to, understand. We can't always expect people to understand what we have going on, or we can't always expect them to understand how we're feeling, or if we're overwhelmed, or if we have a lot going on. We can't. But like Jazz said, we can set our boundaries, and we can tell people, okay, this is what we have going on. I can't do it today. This is my calendar. I'm sorry, it's too full. Or this is how I'm feeling when you're saying this. I need you to respect that. And respect plays a big factor too in how people view you, how people talk to you, how people act with you. Jazz is always a people pleaser. They always call me the mean one. Because I've never been the one to let, I'm a people pleaser to a certain extent, but I don't like for people to use people. I think it's very rude. I think it's very ungrateful. I don't think that, selfish people may not realize they're being selfish, or they may know they're being selfish and they just honestly don't care, and that's not fair to other people. So I don't like for people to, you know, use other people, especially kind-hearted people who give out their time, which time is more valuable than any dollar, any cent, any piece of money, because you can't get time back. You can get money back, but you can't get time back. And so setting those boundaries and letting people know, you know, I'm not going to be readily available for you all the time. You know, I have my own boundaries. I have things that I want to do for myself. It's important that I do these things for myself, and it's important that you recognize and respect my own time, my own peace, my own energy. And if you can't do that, I'm sorry, but I really don't care.
Right. What Lee Bird said, no selfish folk don't care about no one. You're right about that. You're right. And like I said, you have to be selfish with yourself. And don't be afraid when people walk away. Let them walk away. You know, if they aren't afraid to walk away from you, then why do you even care? Like, you have to know, like, what you deserve in your life. The type of people that you have around you. Like, you need people around you that's gonna lift you up, that's gonna build you up. And if those people are easy to walk away, then they're people that you don't really need in your life in the first place. And like I said, you can't fix people. And
no, you can't. Don't try. Stop trying.
Right. And when setting boundaries with people, you also have to realize that manipulators, you got to realize manipulators have been manipulated probably their whole life. So, you know, they know ways to, you know, get back in and like befriend you or love bomb you and like do all the right things just to come in and hurt you again. So that's another thing that I think you need to forgive, like always be forgiving, but never forget. Like, because, and not saying that in like a harsh way, you just got to know, because sometimes people will be like, okay, well, maybe they've changed, you know, and then we open up ourselves and open up our emotions, and then right when they do that, guess what? They come in and they sting us again, and it hurts even more. Every time they do it, they take a piece of us like with them. So like I said, you have to forgive and forget, so you know where to place those people in your life. You don't let them get too close, or you notice that, okay, this person is coming along, so you expect for them to, you know, do something. You just got to be ready for that. So when they do that, like I said, you don't react. And like like one of the people that I listen to, like his name is MJ Harris. He is a motivational speaker, and he is amazing. He is absolutely amazing. But one thing he says, the same dog that licks your hand is the same dog that'll come back and bite it too. So like I said, you got to keep that in mind, like when you're dealing with people, so you don't get hurt. Yes, they are con artists for real, and they are good at it.
Oh, that is so true, dear God, that is true. Oh,
for real.
Yes, it is very true.
And sometimes you have to even like block and delete them out of your life. You gotta, because they'll keep on coming, and they'll keep on, like I said, they'll give you the love bomb. They'll keep on telling you, especially like if it's in a romantic relationship or something like that, they'll come and they'll soothe you, work their way back in, then just to come back and do the same thing all over again. And you are weak because, you know, you have feelings for that person, or you care about that person. So you have to take control of yourself and your own peace and state of mind. And you have to say, okay, I'm gonna block you, because every time you come in, it's the same thing over and over again. So you have to take that control and that power back and say, okay, you can't come in. You have to deny access to that person in your life. You know, so.
Everybody shouldn't have ready access to you at all times. I don't care who it is. Nobody should have ready access to you at all times but your children and your significant other. And even then, you need some space. Manipulators, like Lee Bird said, are self-proclaimed con artists. I can tell you that from firsthand. I've dealt with a few. But it's important that we stay firm in saying no. We stay firm in setting boundaries. I don't know why it came over me today, but I said to myself, I don't let people with bad spirits in my home. When they enter your home, they bring in those bad spirits with them. And those bad spirits can linger. And you don't know why you come in your house and you feeling down, and you just feeling in a funk and you can't get up out of it, and you just don't know why. That's why. Because you got to know who you're like. I don't let everybody in my home. I don't allow everybody to come in even when it comes to my Facebook pages, all of my social media pages, I don't want to see negativity every single day.
Right.
I just don't. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your spirit. It's not healthy for your energy for you to always have negative spirits and negative energies around you. And manipulators are those people. They will do that to you. They will make you feel so negative and so down about yourself.
And you'll think you're the one that's in the wrong. Like, okay, maybe you're the one that's wrong. And you know those people by the way you feel when they come around. Like
just talking to them.
Sometimes you gotta pray. Like, it's certain people like, before I even come around, I was like, Lord Jesus, just help me right now, Lord. Just, you know. For real, you have to pray and just ask the Lord to just, you know, keep your mouth and, like, you know, just pray for that person, like, you know, that they don't let their spirit rub off on you, and that they can just change their heart, because you know those people, when you come around, you'll feel them butterflies and them knots come up in your stomach. You feel sick to your stomach. You feel the anxiety in your chest. Those are the people that you need to place in on a certain level or in a certain space in your life. You don't need to let those people have too much access to you, because when they come in, that spirit will take over you, and then you'll find yourself sometimes being negative. Or, you know, they'll push their energy off on you, and you'll be doing some of the same things they do. And when you don't want to be that type of person, you want to be a better person. So, like I said, you got to know where to place those people in your life.
Yep.
And you can't let people get too comfortable, because people get comfortable with, you know, coming using you, and, you know, like, the more you let them do it, guess what? They're going to keep on doing it over and over and over again. You have to take control of that.
You have to stand firm in your no. You have to set those boundaries for yourself. People going to constantly use those who they feel like they can take the most advantage of. And it's sad to say it, but it's a dog-eat-dog world out here. You know, people do that at work. People do it in relationships. People do it all the time, just with family, with friends. And we're not telling you to cut your family off or your friends off, but we're telling you to identify these people and know how to deal with them when you have to deal with them from a long-handed spoon. You know, sometimes you have to. That's just, you know, in our nature to be, you know, people sometimes, and just, you know, love and care for people. But when you get bit, you better recognize you've gotten bit.
Right. And it's like I say, it's just having that, you know, self-awareness. You know, sometimes you go through different things, and we're on here, we're giving you this knowledge because, like, we've recognized when it comes into our life. And, you know, because before I didn't know what it was, I thought it was me, you know, but when I've learned exactly what it was and exactly what abuse looks like, because that's what it is, it's abuse. You know, it's like a form of mental abuse.
It's emotional and mental abuse.
Right. You have to know how to process that, and you have to know, like, okay, you have to recognize when people are doing it, like, it's not you, you know, it's those people, because sometimes we'll, you know, those people will come in, they'll dump all their negativity and all that on us, and it'll stop us from being productive in our life. And that's what our main point in this is, and what we're doing is trying to get people to, you know, be productive, follow their purpose, and, you know, do the things that they were created to do. And when you have those things that come along in life, you know, like those people that come along, like, sometimes they'll put you in a bog, and you're like, you can't get up out of that. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to give you that knowledge, so when those things come along, you don't stay there. Like, it's having that self-awareness. So, okay, I recognize what that's doing. You know, sometimes you be like, what's wrong? Like, why am I having a bad day? You know, you just dealt with that person. They just came and they dumped all that negative energy on you. That's what's wrong with you. So you have to be able to recognize that, okay, that's what just happened to me. I don't have to stay right there. I can, you know, recognize it for what it is, and I can keep on moving along about my day, knowing that it's not me. I try to do the best that I can. And you have to stay positive. You have to be a bigger person, regardless of how people come and they treat you. Like, don't do what they've done to you. You got to be the bigger person and say, I'm gonna treat people right. I'm gonna still love. You know, you gotta. People say I love unconditionally, but there has to be some conditions to your love in certain cases. Now, you do have to have some conditions, but, you know, still give that love. You know, give those positive affirmations to people. You know, help them when you can. You don't have to be like them. You don't have to be negative. You can still be positive, and, you know, being positive, like, they might even see you and they might want to say, okay, you know, I might do want to change. You know, maybe I see the way that I'm acting is not really productive, so maybe I need to. But you can't, like you said, you can't have that expectation, because some people, they just happy with being muckbreakers. They're happy with being messy. They like doing that kind of stuff. So you can't put that energy on you, because sometimes we want to change the world, but you can't change everybody, because everybody don't want to be changed, and you have to keep that in mind.
And you shouldn't look to change people. Like Lee Bird said, yes, stop letting everyone dump their mess on you, because that's their mess. That's not your mess, and it's not for you to weigh down or wear their weight on your shoulders, going through life trying to figure out, okay, how can I help them fix this problem? What is it that I can do? Now you thinking about, their problems and your problems, and you're going through your day and your week, and they're calling you and still dumping their mess on you constantly, and you got to learn when to take a step back and say, hey, I have no control over their mess. All I can do is offer you up some advice. I can talk you through a situation, but it's up to you to take that advice, and it's up to you to look at the positive in every situation and move on from that. Yes, like she said, I love you from over here, but keep your mess over there. Definitely.
Girl, you always coming on here giving all the best advice, girl. For real. We be needing you to come on here because you be...
That's ultimately true, though. You can love a person, you can wholeheartedly support a person, but that doesn't mean that they have their weight has to be your weight. You can give that advice, like I said. You can give your feedback. It's up to them to take it. It's up to them to look at the positives in the situation and to grow from it and to move on from it. But you cannot change people. We have to stop looking at how can we change people and start looking at people have to want to change for themselves. We're not people fixers. We can't fix anybody. All we can do is offer our positive affirmations. We can offer our positive feedback. We can be a light in their, darkness whenever they're dealing with those situations.
You're right about that. You can't.
But we can't.
Right. For real. And what was I about to say? I always lose my train of thought. Because what were you just saying? I'm sorry. What were you just talking about? You just said me forget. I always do that. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But for real though,
about people dumping their own things, or you can't change people or fix people,
right?
Because people have to want to change and fix themselves,
right?
Right.
So I just said to that day you done my hair. It was like a man was speaking. Girl, it be some of all kind of everything I be listening to. All my customers know that's all I do all day. Like most people be playing music. That's all I do is listen to like motivational speeches, because it's what you feed yourself. Like you have to have that positive state of mind, like that positive atmosphere, because you keep on dumping all that negativity on you. One of the people that I listened to, it probably was R.C. Blaze. I think that's what it was, R.C. Blaze. Like, because that's one of the main people that I listen to. I share a lot of his videos with you, because that's what we do. Like, that's what our conversation is. We don't be sitting around talking about people. We be talking about stuff that, uplift and like, make you have a better day. Like, those are the type of people you want to surround yourself around. Yeah. People that's going to the same place, like that's... People
aspiring to do great, aspiring to push you to do great, aspiring, to tell you, when they give you your their ideas, you're sending them positive feedback on things they can do better, and you're sending them positive feedback on things they can do better. My conversations with all my friends, and I can tell you that I could count on my hand how many of my best friends that I do have. But every time we talk, we're talking about our life. We're talking about what we're aspiring to do. We're talking about what we're doing to get there. I'm motivating them. They're motivating me. It's a motivational conversation. It is never a gossiping conversation. It is never a conversation about anybody else, because listen, my day is consumed with so many different things that I don't have time to hear or listen about anybody else's gossip or issues or what somebody else is going on, because it's not benefiting my life. Right. It's not benefiting me in my progress or in my success going forward. That's not going to help me in any type of way, and I honestly don't want to hear it.
Right, and talking about people ain't gonna fix them anyways. Pray for them. Yes, pray for them. That's the only person that can.
And my biggest thing is when somebody comes to me and talk about somebody, my biggest thing is, what are you doing to help them?
Right. Like I stop it right there, because sometimes like you do have those people that come and sometimes you do be thinking,
carry a bone.
You be thinking about stuff, but people are coming there and say it, and then you'll find yourself wanting, but no, you can't do that. You can't feed into that, because we all think about stuff, and we're human. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you see people like acting in a toxic way, you have those, like, you're human, so you don't notice that and you think about those things. But me talking about it with somebody else, that's not fixing that person. You need to be able to, if you want to talk about it or help that person, you need to go be able to talk to them and say, okay, like, this is something that I noticed that, you know, and some people don't know how to take that. So all you can do is be a positive example for them. Lead by example, you know.
And all my friends, I'm sorry, I'm too real to sugarcoat anything or beat around the bush. If I can't tell you up front, you know, if your behavior is toxic, or if you're not, you know, you're being too low and you need to bring your spirits up higher. If I can't come to you and tell you that as a friend, and as I see most of my friends as my sisters or my brothers, if I can't come to you and be straight up with you, I can't be your friend, because I know that I'm too real and I'm too harsh sometimes, that, you know, I may come off wrong, but I mean it in the best way, because I want to see you. It'll never be anything of me trying to bash you, but it's me of saying, lift your spirits up higher. Today is one day. You have tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. You can't live in funk, because if you live in it and if you dwell in it, how is that going to help you? You have to look for that light outside of that. And yes, Lee Bird, those are the friends that you need, because if you are the only person in your circle that's doing great and everybody else around you still
you need to change that
stuck
circle.
in 2007 and you're in 2018 and you going this way and they just constant, you need to reevaluate your circle and kind of say, hey, what am I doing here? Because it doesn't seem like, you know, everybody in my circle is really on the same levels that I am. Because you you become who you associate yourself with. And if you can't if you can't inspire them to be better, or if they're not aspiring to get up to you, each of you being on the same level, it's not going to fit you, and you're going to always have an imbalance there.
Right. Was there anything? It's been about an hour that we've been on. You know, sometimes we be talking, we get carried away. It's like all y'all comments, like they've been great and very helpful. Like, you know, I encourage everybody, even if you know, if a person missed the live video, go ahead and share it, because somebody that wasn't able to come on and look at it, they might be able to get a word from your comments or what we were saying. So, you know, like we said, this is the environment where we just want to you know, help each other grow, and y'all are helping us. Like all these comments on here, we're reading them. You know, sometimes even when I was looking at the last one we did, I didn't really see all of the comments as we were on here, but when I look back at it, I seen comments that I wasn't looking at, and I was looking at them, I'm like, those were some good points that y'all were having. So like, y'all help us too, so thank y'all for that. We
appreciate you all. We will be back on next week. Jazz will come up with another topic, because I let her pick all the topics. And we will put that out soon, but we will, same time, 6:30 p.m. next Sunday. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share our page. Share the videos to be an inspiration for anybody else. Any positive affirmations we want to put out there. We hope you all have a wonderful and blessed and uplifting week. We speak positivity into all of your weeks. We pray that nothing is too harsh for you, that you won't be able to overcome it. We love it. We love you guys. We're appreciative that you're on here with us and sharing in this with us. And we thank you.